Hello. Hello, hello, welcome. There you go. I have everything working. I gotta notify people in the, the Discord, uh, and then we'll get started. Bye. Oh, ik wel gung dan. Ik gewoon ik wel gung volkenkaart lo. At notification. Okay, there you go. Hello. I worked a little bit off stream on it. Specifically, what we mostly did last stream was we thought up the mechanism used to utilize the creatures, but we didn't really design the creatures themselves. We thought up the idea of them using like a miniature what was it? A miniature blast charge that's like a little spike that they use to inject mana into the wall and make it explode. But besides that, we didn't really design the creatures. So I've spent a little bit of time off stream designing the creature. Not much, don't worry. You didn't miss much. I basically just had a lot more time to think about it. And while eating, I came up with the idea of using, or I came up with the idea of a few inspirations to take from, like lampreys, bottom feeders. We already talked about uh um what are these called? Wait, where are they? These. No. I don't. Yes, that. But what is that called? The really long worms underwater. I forgot, with the snap jaw looking mouth. Oh, these. Yeah. I I forgot what those are called. I use those, and also like hagfish, um, box crabs, like some random bits and pieces, because I wanted to play around with a few things. Playing Dispatch right now, and it's peak. Nice, nice. But yeah, so the general idea is, I wanted their face to be quite flat, and then them to have the spike poking. Bobbit worms, yes, thank you, bobbit worms. I wanted their face to be quite flat, and then have the spike poking out of it. The spike shouldn't be that big. I want it to be sort of a surprise thing. So the main detail that takes up their face is actually these really big claws, or modified legs or claws or whatever on either side, that can close and open like this, and they use those to brush the debris that they've broken off the wall into their mouth, right? So they're like claws with hairs on them, and they use those to like sweep windshield wipers. They're windshield wipers, and I think it's a really interesting idea to have it also be like, it makes sense for them to have like blast protection as well, against their own, like, they're exploding the wall, so they don't want debris hitting their face, so they have these like two big door hinge claws, or door claws in front of them blocking them, and the claws have like this little hole opening in the top where the spike pokes through. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. And also, I took clams as inspiration. I'm not really a person that's concerned about, um as an artist. I don't care about sticking to a specific species or lineage or whatever for reference. Like, oh, I can, if I decide for it to be like a fantasy crab, I can only take inspiration from crabs. No, I'm literally taking everything I can think of, from insects to crabs to caterpillars, uh, to lampreys, whatever, and just mixing them together. And whatever classification you want to put on them at the end, up to you. I have no idea if it's a clam, a crab, a bug, who knows. Its body is going to have sort of a hard, rigid shell, that's covering it. Sort of a mix between a gooey duck or like a razor clam and a crab. But I'm also taking inspiration from like the long butt that sort of is floppy at the end, from hermit crabs. And then the head is gonna be quite like a mix of a lamprey and a caterpillar with like the flat disc in front from this one, but then using the mouthpiece that's more like a crab or like these things. I forgot what these are called. I really like crab mouths, so I'm gonna use those as well. And then caterpillar legs in the front, so very tube-like. And then they'll have shoveling legs in the back as well. So yeah, it's just a very messy design. And but I thought I'm having fun like drawing it. I should probably stream it. But yeah, I gotta say though, I've been it is very hard to not make this design look mildly inappropriate. There's there's just I sort of character designed myself into a corner by having a flat front face with hairs and a slit mouth and then a little hole at the top where a spike comes out. There's not many ways you can draw that without making it look kind of you know. So the what's been slowing me down in the process is I've just been constantly stopping and staring at them and being like, God damn it, it looks too much like that again. I gotta go back and fucking redo it. So yeah, that'll be a bit of a fun challenge. I mean, inevitably, I'm not like opposed to the idea of having it sort of look like that, because obviously there's a hint of that in all of these references. Not all of them, but some of these references. But not just straight up make somebody look at it and go, "That's a fucking," you know. But yeah, let's continue. So I've just been playing around, not been like thinking too much about it. I'm liking this general shape though, because I like the idea of like a very long, rigid body in the back, and then a very sort of flexible hinge section, and then another rigid portion in the front. Because I'm thinking the spike is quite long, like the apparatus that controls the spike and like makes it do magic would be very inside the body. Like the most of the head cavity would be taken up by it, right? Basically like a giant or like a big old like jackhammer piston. Um so the front needs to be like very long and rigid to accommodate that. And then the back portion is just, well, because I just had an idea to make it long like a razor clam. Because that also made me think of digging as well. Like razor clams, they dig into the ground. Everything that I've taken inspiration from is for a reason. Like the reason I did lampreys, and like bottom feeders, hagfish, and stuff like that is because I'm thinking of like the ones with the big claws or like flat face. I'm thinking about them using the sweeping motion. No, how do I explain this? Um, yeah, their main idea or their main shape basically just came from me realizing, oh, they need like a method to sweep up all the dust that they've made. So that's why like the windshield wipers came into um or came into my head. And then I thought like what would those windshield wipers look like? And then I thought of like, well, the face should probably be quite flat, and then I went to lampreys, and then I went to like hagfish and also box crabs if they're like separate claws that do that motion. I'm canceling the book. The book's not happening. At least not like soon. Maybe in the future eventually, but for now, like my main focus is just filling out the codex and making 3D models. So the codex, there's a link in the description below. You can see it. The codex it's basically a book. Like it's just a book, but in a different format. So I guess you could say I am making a book. It's just that it's not going to be page for page a book that you can hold. It's going to be a giant mind map with all the things in the world broken down into little entries. And I think I like that a lot more than the idea of a book. Maybe we can turn it into a book somehow later, but I'm not thinking about that at the moment. It's just stressing me out. Um, but I really enjoy doing the codex. The codex hella fun. Yeah, because it's just like there's definitely methods to help with this, but when I was waking the book, it was just page after page. I was working on page after page of the book. And by the way, I didn't get far. Don't make this sound like God. I was like a third way into the process and then I just stopped because I couldn't take it anymore. Nah, it was like 4 pages. Like 3, 4, maybe at 4 I was like, fuck this. Cause it's just one page after the other, and you don't see the other pages while you make the new one. So it just felt like there wasn't any progress being made. It wasn't coming together. Like I need a quick dopamine hit, right? I have a very short attention span, so I need that quick hit of dopamine to tell me like you're doing great, progress. Um, but it didn't give me that because it just felt like I was resetting after every page. With the codex, completely different because every image I put on there, every entry I add to it, it just gets bigger and bigger, more and more to look at, and that's really really good for my monkey brain. It just goes, yeah, it's getting bigger. You're doing stuff. So I just love adding to the codex. Is there enchanting in the world? Yes, yes. Glyphs exist. You can definitely. Well, enchanting works a little differently in the world. Well, not differently. It's just a variation of enchanting. It's not the type where you put an enchantment on something and it just does magic. All magic in the world requires mana to function. So you can put a spell onto an item, but then you need like a whole mechanism to allow that item to take in mana and then cast that spell in some way. So there's more steps to it. It's not just like, oh, write the runes and ta-da, it does magic. It needs a fuel source. It needs a way to take in that fuel source, a way to route that mana to the glyphs, and then also the maintenance of glyphs. Like spell casting creates tar, right? That's like with the mages, after you cast spells, tar builds up in the veins. The same thing with glyphs. Um glyphs aren't what is that saying? Glyphs aren't exempt. Glyphs aren't exempt from that. Glyphs also build up tar. It just crusts on the surface of glyphs. So you need to like clean those off because if tar builds up too much between the letters of the glyphs, it could cause them to like short circuit and stuff. And you definitely don't want that to happen because short circuiting spells are incredibly unpredictable, and who knows what it'll do. You know? Can you put a spell on an organ? Yes, you can. It'd be really hard, but you definitely could. I feel like if you want to put a spell on an organ, you definitely want to automate I don't know. You'd have to tattoo it on it, which sounds really gruesome, you know? Magic tattoos on an organ. Like onto the skin, I kind of can see that, but like on an organ. Unless you do it like one of those external organs, you could definitely do one of those. They don't scream. Just tattoo an external organ and have a war dancer carry it or something. I don't know what you'd cast on it. Self healing, maybe. I don't know if that'd be possible. Oh no, that's like not allowed. There's like I've made this like cardinal. It's the same kind of idea with like the rules of AI and robots, where it's like they should not harm their owner and that sort of stuff. I've made up those same rules for magic, where there's some very important things you never should do in magic. You know, it's not because it's like, oh, dark evil magic. No, it's just that the consequences of doing that can cause very bad things. And the biggest rule of writing glyphs is do not write glyphs that repeat themselves. So don't make a glyph who that's function is to make more of itself, right? That is a no-no. Because there's this echoing issue with glyphs, and the issue is the more a glyph gets repeated and copied, the less, or the more, the less clear the intent of the glyph is. The whole magic system works off of intent, right? So if a mage writes a magic glyph onto an object themselves, that's a first-hand glyph, right? They made it themselves, which means that's the most efficient and powerful version of that glyph, right? Then there are glyph printing presses, which is the mage writes the glyph onto metallic stamping plates, and then those glyphs get stamped onto other objects. That is a second-hand glyph, right? Because they wrote it onto a thing that then stamps it onto another thing, which means the intent of the glyph starts getting muddy. It's like a game of telephone. The efficiency of the glyph lowers, and the strength of it lowers as well. But the more you do that, the worse it gets, which means a glyph that repeats itself is a really bad idea, because who knows how the intent of the glyph can contort and twist as it keeps repeating itself. So the most people will do is 2 steps, which is the printing presses. Have somebody make the stamps, or make the originals to make the prints. That's as far as people go. They don't go 3 or 4 copies, because it just gets very bad very quickly. I'm putting sentience glyphs on all the Sluppies was damaged, so would the spell. Yeah, that's kind of the issue, is like, if you want to put a healing, like glyphs are very, it's very important to have glyphs be intact, right? If they get damaged, that's not good, because that's a part of the code missing, pretty much. So it's, you can't really put a healing spell or cantation onto an object and have it be self-mending, because as soon as it gets damaged, the spell is broken, or there's a part of it missing, which again can fuck things up. The way you could possibly do it would be to have a separate object used to heal or mend another. So basically, just like a healing magic item. But the thing with healing is that it's very specific. Mending or healing magic in the world isn't like it knows exactly what a thing is supposed to be. Like if your heart gets damaged, if half of a heart gets cut off, or like a hole gets punched into it, if you heal it, that's not gonna, like, okay, yeah, let's do, like, if half a heart gets cut off, if you cast a healing spell on it, that's not gonna bring the other half magically back. It's just gonna close the hole, right? Because it doesn't know that there's another heart. It's like it's just telling the cells of the body to go heal, and it just heals it. So the knowledge of a healer is very important in the healing process for more complex injuries, because the structures need to be intentionally healed incorrectly. If you just heal it, it just closes up the wound in the simplest way possible, which is not good, right? If it's like a complex organ, it works on like skin damage and like limb damage and stuff like that. But with like organs and stuff, you can't just close something up and expect it to work. So if you make a healing magic item, it would still require the person to know how the body works to an extent to heal you, unless it's like external damage, like just, you know, muscle damage and stuff like that, or just like stop the bleeding type of thing. You can definitely do that with a magic item. But yeah. Heals just the 3D printer glyph? Yeah, basically. Well, not really. There's different types of healing. There's all healing basically just tells, healing isn't like it magically creates more material. It saps material from the person you're healing. So you're draining them of nutrients to basically have their body turbocharge their healing factor. which means like people can die from getting healed too much, uh, because they're just they're starved. Like they die from exhaustion because their body is using all the energy and resources to heal that thing as quickly as possible. So a lot of like when healing somebody, you need to like hook them up to like IV drips or whatever to like give their body enough juice to actually heal. But then there's also like paste that you can like paste down onto wounds and have the body utilize that to heal, like basic like biomaterial. So you can like have biomaterial from random like other humans or like animals or stuff like that and just like paste it into the wound and then heal it, and then the cells nearby would go, oh okay, well it's right here, we can just use this and turn that into flesh that we just need. So that's another way to like help prevent the body from just becoming mummified as it dries up, where not literally, but you know. Is it full metal alchemy type magic? Yeah, yeah. I like it when it's not just as simple as you can just create things out of nothing, right? I really like the idea, like full metal alchemist style. You need something to create another thing, right? There's an exchange. So that's with like healing magic. Is transmutation possible in the world? I want it to be. I feel like it'd not be fun if it wasn't. It'd be fun if it was. Like same sort of ideas of like alchemy back in the day with the philosopher's stone and transmuting things into gold and or lead into gold and that sort of shenanigans. I definitely want that to be a thing. And the origins, like the origins of alchemy and stuff would definitely be Burla. Like Burla would be crazy about alchemy. And that's like how they yeah, I don't know. I don't know how alchemy would work in my world though. Like how far would transmutation be able to be pushed? What do glyphs look like? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't tried drawing glyphs. Um I think like the main thing would be the glyphs need to be written with something that conducts mana. So if it was written on paper, it would need to be some sort of metallic rich ink. And then also the glyphs would need to be connected. So there can't be separate runes that make up a glyph. They all need to be like a line of them. Basically, yeah, it's like a circuit board basically. You need all of them to be connected. So glyphs would have to have like a common line above or below them like some languages do. And I think that'd be really cool. And then you can obviously like spread them out like this. Or like there'd be like you could do programming. I feel like there would be magic if gates and gates and or gates, so you could literally make a magic computer. Um, Burla consumed its citizens. I mean, doesn't seem like there's many of them left. The only people left seem to be the people that like just lumber around the city and sink into the corners like you know like dust and shit. And the Burla men, which are they're sort of less citizens of the city, and they're like roaming around the outskirts of it. Nothing really or no like people have been found like deeper within the city walls. Glyphs feel like they would be personal. Uh, one from someone and one from another. One, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say that. So, what's important about a glyph is the intent of the person writing it, which means the level of focus you need to have to be able to write glyphs that actually function is incredible, right? You need to focus the entire time you're writing a glyph to fully imbue the intent of your spell into the glyph, which means that glyphs are very person specific. It's more the understanding of the individual rather than the words that are actually written. They could write gibberish and have it work if that gibberish to them truly means what they intend to do with the spell. They could just write gibberish. But what they do is, I think glyphs would be its own language that they've created and is studied in magic schools and magic, by scholars and stuff like that, magic practitioners. And the language would be very specific. The whole idea of the language would be to have everything incredibly specific and incredibly, like, there are 100 words for everything, and all of them have very niche and specific meanings. Because and the whole reason, or the only reason they would need that language, is so you learn it and then you can use it to help you focus on the spell you're writing, right? So that's the only reason. They have a very complicated and in-depth language so that you can focus on the words to have that be the exact intent you want the spell to have. If you're really fucking good and like a savant, the words don't matter. It's literally just to help you focus. Like, it's hard to think about water if you're writing the word fire, so they need like really specific words so they can like really get the thought down. Yeah. And also that means that glyphs are kind of not compatible with each other. If you like cut a glyph in half and then have another person write the other half, I don't think that spell would work right. Because it's just the raw intent of the person writing it is different from mage to mage. But so like with dwarves, for example, like the glyphs they write on their automatons, they would be segmented. So each dwarf would need to write their own little bit, because you can't mix and match them together. They can be connected, like they can be fueled by the same mana source, but they can't like mesh with each other completely. Uh, it'd be fun if glyph writers were like IRL coders. They sometimes don't even know what a specific combo of glyph does, but if they remove it, the whole thing doesn't work at all. Yeah, yeah. They would be 100% uh glyph mages, like mages that imbue spells into objects and make magic objects and magic scrolls. Those are its own giant rabbit hole and niche of magic. It is impossible to get a mage to both, or one in a million, but it's generally impossible that a mage would be both able to cast spells normally, like the combat spells that you see in the trenches, and also be proficient in writing glyphs. It's like a whole different life dedication you need to be able to do either one, right? And you think about spells in different ways either. Or sorry, you think about spells in a different way as a whole. Seeing piecemeal glyphs would be kind of cool. Sounds like a Burlamen thing. What do you mean, like piecemeal glyphs? Like parts of glyphs, and like you might be able to decode what spell it was from what is written on the if or the glyph to an extent, I think. What if they study a person's brain using a brain surgery to understand how glyphs work? How would they do that? Yeah, sorry, we're getting off track. I'm not drawing at all. Yeah, let's draw. Let's draw. Yeah, I like this mouth a lot that I did here. I also like this very circular head design. I want to implement like these little hair or these little nub things like the hagfish. I like those a lot, so I'm definitely keeping those. I should write that down. Like this. I also like this. Um So we're definitely saving those. Patch together glyphs, maybe some people don't know how, so they stick them together and swap them around. Maybe. I'm so imagining someone writing a schematic for a glyph and adding personal notes in non-conductive ink. Like, I fucking hated writing. Oh, that would be so... Yes, hold on. I'm writing that down right now. Thank you so much. I hope you're okay with me absolutely stealing that, because that is genuinely... Like when you said that, I was like, they totally do that. That's so obvious. Like, yeah, they would write in both inks and just be fucking complaining or whatever. Like they can write whatever they want. It's like the same with coding, I guess, because in coding that's the thing too. Oh shit, the Mercon, thank you for the $5 through Super Chat. I need to say it. I keep reading the icons on the right and the word Dune, and my mind won't let it go. Icons on the right and the word Dune? Where's the word Dune? I don't know where the word Dune is. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Right. I in coding they also do that, right? You can like literally just write shit in your code and just have it not actually, interact with the code at all. So I think, yeah, they totally do that. Hold on. Let me write that down. Where can I write that down? Let me just write it right here. I'm in the Codex at the moment, if you're wondering. Just a quickly hopping over. So, Jesus Christ. Okay. Glyph mages right in. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you very much for that idea. It's wonderful. The notes idea reminds me of the fact. What? Rare to catch a stream. Glad to be here. Hello, hello. The notes idea reminds me of the fact that the majority of DNA doesn't does literally nothing. I mean, surely not. Is that true? I mean, if somebody confirms it in the chat, I'm not going to believe it anyway, because that's just a random person in the chat. But still, it seems like a very weird thing. I completely believe it. Like, if some DNA is useless, like, it can't be that all of it's useful, but most of it. Ah, ah. A glyph computer that slowly starts physically changing and twisting as the glyphs loosen and change, meaning would be cool too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why people say don't make, or that's why I said don't make glyphs that repeat themselves, because the intent and meaning of a glyph twists over time and over iterations. So that's a big no-no. It does have a function. It was believed to do nothing. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And I end up believing you anyway. So here you go. Please, pretty sure out of 100 of mutations per person, most do literally nothing. I mean, I feel like it's not that. I feel like it wouldn't be the case that they do nothing. I just feel like it would do something so minuscule and irrelevant, or maybe just not undetectable, that we just don't notice it. You know? I don't think it does nothing. It's just that it does such a small thing that we just can't, like how would you know? You know? I think that's just the case. Okay. Let's continue. บายตูดมัน Yeah, I sort of want the claws to like overlap in a cool way. Like maybe like this, where they perfectly slot into each other or something. Wouldn't a repeating glyph attract mana, or is that exclusive? Yes, it would attract mana. Very observational. Indeed, it would. And you can sort of imagine what kind of trouble that would cause. Magic Method 1, Alchemy. Magic Chemistry 2, Mancy, Casting Magic. Arcanium, Runes, Glyphs. Um, Incantation, Word Magic, Divination, Prayer, Enchanting, Magic Smithing. Yeah, so the ones that exist in my world would be um, Alchemy, Mancy, and um, Arcanium. So, because oh, and in wait, Mancy casting. Yeah. So magic words don't exist. You just think them. So that's pretty much the same as just casting. And enchanting and smithing, that's just, runes and glyphs. What else are you enchanting them with? Runes and glyphs. So that's just the same thing. And divination doesn't exist. I mean, people pray, doesn't mean that it works. Oh, thank you for the 2 oud. Not qualified. He looks like he eats cheese. I bet he likes brie. Why is this always a common comment in my... Every time everyone just wants my creatures to eat cheese. Yeah, so I'm thinking it does need like 2 brush arms as well on top of the big ones. So I'm definitely keeping this face look though. I like the round disc that sort of looks like a trapdoor spider's ass. Um, like this. And then the little hole in the top. I think I like that. And the hole is where the spike comes out. And then it has the like crab claw like mouth. Like this. Right? That's underneath. And then we have the 2 big sweeping claws. Also, I'm really liking this new pen. It's literally just a no opacity. It's a tiny bit like if I press lightly, it's this big, and if I press hard, it's that big. It has a tiny bit of size difference with pressure, but besides that, not at all. And it just feels a lot more like the pen I use to sketch in my sketchbook. And that just makes it feel so much more comfortable to just doodle, you know, for some reason. Yeah, because it's just what I'm more used to. It's not that it's better than anything else. It's just that I'm more used to drawing with a pen. So a brush in the program that works more like a pen would be more familiar to me, obviously. Can a war dancer have 2 brains? I mean, you can graft 2 people together. I don't think he'd think with both of them. I think they'd think independently. Everything reminds me of her. Yeah, yeah, that's the hard part about this design. I already mentioned it. I can't really. Kind of impossible to avoid. It's inevitable. Lana. Dodo. ให้เขาไปเปิดไหม Okay, thank you. Maybe I have the face like come forward a little bit. This. อย่าพึ่งไม่ Maybe it just comes out of there. And then these plates curve down like that. How big are these creatures? I'm still not quite sure. I drew this one and I thought it'd be sort of the size of a forearm or a little bigger. I do want them to be quite big. Which kind of doesn't make sense because the size I'm drawing their details in, like these big old like floppy things, makes them feel a lot smaller than I want them to be. But I can't help it. Like I really just like these designs or like these features, so I'm keeping them. Although they sort of like subconsciously signify to our brains that these things aren't that big. But I'm making them big anyway. How do I do the claws? I'm really stuck on the claws because they're such a flat, big shape. Like I feel like between species, definitely like the claws would vary vary a bunch. But there'd be hairs here, then hairs here, like two layers of hairs like that, and then like external on the outside. I think what I should look at reference for is Yeti crabs. I think that'll help a lot. And then I want like two little like cute little paws in the front pretty much with also like very big hairs, brushes that it uses like that. I think that's getting somewhere. Is this supposed to be some sort of Sluppy? It's the Sluppy replacement. Not I'm not replacing them. I'm just sort of stuck in the middle between with the Sluppies. I don't like their design too much yet. Like they're a little awkward at the moment. They look like a they look like a middle evolution of a Pokemon, you know? So I'm on the fence with them. Maybe I'll redesign them. I'll probably redesign them. But for now, they're like in limbo. Coconut crabs. Yeah, coconut crabs would be a good reference too. Let me search those up. Coconut crabs and Yeti crabs. Ni. Oomapao. Yaiba. Eat. กินได้อยู่นะคิดว่านะคิดว่ากินได้ Actually, coconut crabs, no. They don't really have any features that I'm like particularly looking for. I'm just wondering with Yeti crabs, like how their hairs come out of their claws. And yeah, it is what I sort of guessed. They sort of have like that chicken skin thing going on where every bump has some hairs coming out of it. So every there needs to be specific bumps that the hair come out of. Bumps. Okay, and then I wanted. Did I want something else? I don't think so. Just Yeti crabs. I really liked Sluppies. I know, I like the idea of them a lot. It's just that they have this, like, awkward look to them still. I'm not saying, like, they're entirely flawed. I like the idea. It's just that the issue I have with them is hold on. I'm looking up the Sluppies on the Figma file. Yeah, the underside of them. Like, they look like bugs, but they have, like, a very, uh, very is it mammalian? Marsupial? Mammalian? Uh, breastfeeding animals. Nose. Like, their nose is literally a star-nosed mole thing. And their mouth is also very mammal-like. So it's like this weird, awkward... Like, I feel like I just couldn't figure out how to do their mouth and nose that's underneath. Like, from the exterior, I like what they look like. Like, giant land whales. Or like things with holes on the side. It's weird, it's freaky, but like the underside, I'm not happy with. I'd probably like rework some of that. I definitely do still want to make it like mammal-ish looking, weirdly, but not just that. Like something more needs to be done to that. Cactus skin bumps. Yeah, yeah, kind of like cactuses. Okay, let me look at. I think the best thing I can do is take inspiration from the box crabs. That's sort of the closest to what I'm trying to accomplish, right? And so I feel like it'd be no, it's gotta be more circular than that. I need to think about the overall shape more than like their individual design. Like it has to come together nicely as a whole. And then these claws have like all those little bumps on them, and then like bundles of hair that come towards the middle, like that. And then like exterior hairs. I'm thinking like because of their look, I definitely think they prefer a moist environment, more humid. So I feel like they would that would also be another thing. Their fungus that they're like um in a beneficial relationship with would give them as well. I feel like their fungus would like suck up water from different places and sort of better spread it around their tunnels. So that'll be interesting. Oh, and also, I had this fun idea. Because they're so long and not really very flexible in their middle section, their tunnels would have a particular shape because they basically need train stations to like walk past each other. They can obviously make tunnels thicker, but if it's like an individual, like thin tunnel, the tunnel would need offshoots like this to allow them to pass each other. I don't know how big a colony of them would be. I do want it to be quite large. But yeah, like this. So if one of them is like moving along here and another one wants to get past, then this one can move into the tunnel and have the other one go past. Because they can't like just squeeze past each other that easily. But then over time, like the more frequented places would definitely just get bored into bigger passages like this. Yeah, but that's just a fun thing. You could probably see those on like walls and stuff, like the concrete walls inside of bunker cities. You'll see like these like branching uh paths on them where they dig through the walls. Some love. Oh, thank you. Armadillo plus lobster plus boar? What? It's interesting. Wait. My mouse is gone. Okay. This is getting somewhere, I think. It's getting somewhere. I think I just need to draw the full head more. It needs time to like solidify. That's what the issue is. It's like I have the idea there. It's just that it isn't like locking into place yet because I just haven't drawn it enough. Sort of. They're very weird. Um, then you would have to dig yourself, or with smaller ones, the little optional tunnels you just mentioned. Well, yeah, I feel like they would just instinctually know, like, after a certain length, they would just veer to the side, make an offshoot, and then turn back and then continue on where they wanted to go. Like, it would just be ingrained in them somehow. So they just know to do that to make paths more accommodating. just looks kind of off when the claws are open. That's what I'm bothered by. I want it to look cool in both scenarios. Bye bye. Love you. I could take inspiration from this thing. I've used this not enough. I think I'm not looking at my references enough in general, honestly. Um, yeah. Like I'm thinking too much of it as a claw, perhaps. Hold on, let me just draw the simple shape of it first. Like literally just a half circle. Like that. And then start cutting into it. Yeah. And then just have them be a lot more textured. And then the hairs come out of here. And then there. Yeah. I think that's sort of coming across more like what I want. Yo, Kursk, how's it going? Drawing on the right looks like a hamburger helper mascot for what? It, how? And also maybe I'm like thinking about this way too narrowly. Like I'm settling down into this very specific look very quickly. I could definitely like play around with it more. Like we don't necessarily need all of it to be covered by the claws. We can have the claws be sort of like a half bottom thing as well. And then have the top half be of the face. That I drew that very poorly. But you couldn't sort of see what I mean. Like the claws are just at the bottom. Some asymmetry might be cool as well. Have one claw like overlap the other differently. Like that. And then with the hole. Like that can work too. Mole cricket claws. Yeah, I am keeping those in mind, even though I didn't like add them onto the reference sheet. We have mole crickets over here as well. So I do think about them. Or I am thinking about them. Just that I didn't add them to the reference sheet, because, well, what they add is sort of similar to what I already have. Yeah, like the shape of the front claws is really fucking me up. I think like that's really where I'm getting stuck with the design. Is the front claws just don't look right yet. Why it look like deep sea creature? Well, because I'm using sea creatures mostly as reference. Yeah, I can sort of see the half circle being more interesting actually. Or like them not covering all of it is kind of growing on me. Because then I'm not constricted to having them close or cover a full circle. It's more like a boxing glove kind of. It looks like it's in like a boxing stance. I like that. So let me play around with that. The claws can overlap a little. Yeah, it's kind of getting there. No, no, less lobster. I definitely don't want it to read as a crustacean that much. So like actually less lobster. It could be like a mantis shrimp. Oh, by the way, yeah, you mentioning mantises actually gives me an idea. I'm thinking again too much about the claws also being literally just one piece, but they could actually be multiple pieces as well, which can influence their shape. Yeah, yeah, actually, yes. It helps break up the monotony of that one shape as well. So I can add like a more interesting flow to the front panels. I'm liking that actually. I like, and also it makes sense if it's using it to sweep that it should be like a lot more big and dexterous. Yeah. I'm liking that. Will it have a use? Yes, yes, it will have a use for Rom or Varus. Out of interest, do you have any plans for writing a introduction into the setting for pen and paper settings? How would you? I've never read like an introduction for that. How is that constructed? Like, do I need to? Would it be like in a mood setting sort of paragraph to explain the world, and then like locations and stuff? Love what you got so far. Yeah, I think I like this like separate pieces actually. It is very interesting. I think that's the breakthrough I needed. Thank you to whoever mentioned mantis shrimps, because that made me realize it. Ja, nej, yes aber. Okay.ไม่รู้สิเป็นไปได้อะจริงๆก็เป็นไปได้เอ้ย Okay. Looks like a fleshlight. I mean, inevitably. I can't really avoid that, can I? And also, it really doesn't. It doesn't look like a flashlight that much. What the fuck? No. Ugh, it's still a really hard concept, though. It's just like the. I just have to keep looking for it. It's not like there's a very clear way I can execute this design. This is looking promising, though. Liking this. Yeah, I'm liking this, actually. Are we still doing the lamprey thing? I still really like it. I'm keeping it. But I sort of lost the sauce of the lamprey thing. I need to reset it. Because I've just been drawing it over and over again. It's not looking right. Like 2 here. And then I can add another pair here at the bottom. Okay. And then we have like the front little mittens. Who knows what the shape of those are. Like that. And then the 6 like caterpillar legs that go behind it. Another 6 caterpillar legs, and then another pair of sweepers in the back. And then we can end off with some more lamprey bits. Like that. I think the thing is too tall. This version, at least, it's standing too tall. Squish. And also the body's not segmented enough. Not, yeah, somebody did say segmented. I don't mean like here lines. Uh, I guess separated would be the better word. Like, there's not a clear enough separation to this part. Like, that's like a really nice part of that design I liked. So I want to like hopefully capture that somehow. No idea. Like, it looks good from the side, but like from any other angle, I feel like it's gonna look not good. Like, that's just an odd shape. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I like the face, though. The face is getting there. Where's my mouse? Thank you. I'm gonna take the face. Play around with that. Okay, man. Oh. that. And let's just rough in the body. Yes, 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 this shape. I like this shape. This is nice. Front legs would be... It's... With the caterpillars, it's like they're so like close together. And then some back legs used for sweeping. And then I wouldn't mind some like little weird antenna things coming out. Maybe pheromones, maybe something like that. And I think it'd be nice and freaky if the shell, like, I don't want just a clamshell slapped on top of the thing. I want it to be more like sort of a soft shell situation where it's like solid but there's a skin over it maybe. Or maybe it just like slowly blends into a more fleshy thing at the back. So instead of being like a hard line, like that's where the shell ends, it's more like a weird, uncomfortable to look at transition. It's kind of hard to tell where it ends, same way as in like soft shell creatures. Yeah. I do want there to be a split down the middle though, like at the top. Like you can see it do this. Like that. Okay. I'm liking this shape though. It's getting there. Okay, and then we add in those lamprey accents. Just remind myself. Yeah, okay. I want the attachment point to be like more prominent. Yeah, that's what makes it nasty. So like have a bit of a like a segment before the antenna, kind of like a earthwormy looking thing. Yep, 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 yep. That's good. Exactly what I want. Okay, that's the first segment, and then again, I'm thinking soft shell kind of thing. So it's like there's a hard structure under this, but it's also covered in skin. which allows for like some sort of awkward looking wrinkles and bumps and stuff. And then I can like add hairs to these, I guess. The little caterpillar legs. I don't want them to be pointy. I don't think I want them pointy. I want them like splayed out, flat, little footsies. Do I? Do I want little footsies? There's not much space here for me to draw because I sort of drew him very low to the ground. So hold on, let me like the quality of the reference is not really good, but like this is a caterpillar as well, by the way. They're crazy. They come in some very crazy shapes. Um, or like this, where the arms are like really exaggerated. Like they can range anywhere from like little pointy things to like full on grabbers or like like actually, you know, some insectoid looking legs and grabbers. Like they have such an interesting variety of legs in one creature. Like look, even on this one, like little pointy ones and then like fatter tube ones, and then they have them some different looking ones in the back even. Like so cool. So I think I really want to like capture that variety. We have that to an extent, like we have the big weird claw things, and then we have the cleaning claws on the inside of that. But then I want these to like look different from those. I don't know. I think I've sort of drawn myself into a corner here with that part. Like I need to pull this up a little to give myself room for legs. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better. Probably need to tinker with that a little more, but slightly better. And then I don't want to draw hairs on this side because I just don't want the drawing to be too confusing. So just imply that there's like hairs here. Do they have whiskers? Uh, pretty much. Kinda. Kinda have whiskers. Yucky whiskers. But yeah, I'm liking that a lot, actually. It doesn't look like it's much different from this version that we started off with, but it is really different. It's really different. Or like in some very important ways. Like I started like look at this mouth that we started with. Look at this. That's not really good. But like I think like this is really getting confident with the design. Yeah. Like can you tell? I think it you can tell that like just drawing it over and over again or like getting like small little changes and ideas. If I just settled for this, I might be like fine with it, but I wouldn't be happy with it. But then just like, oh yeah, like the person that said mantis really helped. Like, oh, I can make multiple segments of the claw. I don't have to have just one slab of a claw cover the whole thing. And that really helped push it in like a more interesting and like satisfying direction. Like it's really yeah, I think confidence the right word. It looks confident. Where the previous one is like unsure of it felt unsure of like, is this what it's supposed to look like? But this is like it's really settling into place, being like, oh yeah, this is what it's looking like. If that makes any sense. like the pieces are settling. They wiggle around a lot, and then they start like coalescing and hardening into place, and then it starts being it has a flow to it, right? Like this has a flow to it. This is aimless. These are aimless still. Aimless, not sure where to put things, how big they are, what shape they are. And then it slowly like solidifies like okay, yeah, yeah, and then like that's like tunk and it finally like locks into place what it's supposed to look like. So I'm really happy with that actually. I'm really happy with that head disc. The rest of the body still can use work, but the head, I'm really happy with this front piece. Yeah, I like the silhouette from the top as well. Actually, that I just quickly like drew up. I think that's like a good proportion width wise. Like it looks very. It's not too stiff, right? There's some like this is that thick, and then it thickens out here, and then it like gets thinner again for the neck, and then the head. I think that's a good flow. Yeah, but these things would definitely like some wetness in their tunnels. These guys definitely don't want dry tunnels. I don't think I like the bumps here though. I think the bumps on the head and the bumps on the butt do enough of the heavy lifting with detail. So like adding even more detail on the shell is just pushing it. It's like adding too much. Like I can sort of add like soft ridges maybe to indicate the skin, but besides that, I don't need to add more bumps. Like yeah, I think that's even better now. Because now it's like a lot more clear where it's like calling your attention. It's like, oh, here, look at this. Like, this is the highlight of the design, and this is like secondary. Like, oh, look at the butt. So mission accomplished? I think so. I think we're close. We're close. I think I'm happy with this. Mission indeed kind of accomplished. Kind of getting there. Uh, what happens if they? What? I don't know. I know you're asking him, but can't help but to give you my 2 cents. Honestly, all you should focus on is yourself. I assure you, people will love the same things you're into. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I miss something? Do you have any tips to growing a community from nothing? I have tons of ideas, but I just feel like I need to adhere to trends or otherwise uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with Fantastical Juno and their response. Just like stick to what you like. Like really, just don't fall into the trap of like trying to follow trends. The sad truth of today's like mediascape is just there's just a chance you just won't find an audience. Like the algorithm dictates everything. You just have to get really fucking lucky. I just got disgustingly lucky. It's not like I'm doing anything different from anybody else trying the same thing, right? I'm doing nothing different. I just posted shit randomly, hoping for it to stick, and I just got lucky. So the sad truth is there's hundreds or thousands more people that are doing the exact same shit and probably working their ass off even harder than I am out there that just haven't gotten lucky. So sadly, there isn't really a formula, or I don't think there is. Like Mr. Beast figured out the formula. He's fucking, but you can see like it's like he sold his soul. Like look at the guy. He looks dead inside. Like that I I don't think that's the way to do it. I mean, especially if we're talking about specifically artists, Obviously, you're not gonna do, I just built a fucking castle out of cucumbers content. Like, you're not gonna do that shit. You know, you're passionate about something specifically and you want to express that as an artist. So yeah, I think just don't sell your soul. Don't try to follow trends. No, you know what? Never mind. I'm not giving advice. Don't take my advice at all. I don't fucking know how the content machine works. I'm literally just speaking off of personal experience. Don't take my advice. I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. The only reason I'm saying don't follow trends is because that's what I did and I just got lucky. What I'm assuming is if you do follow trends, there's probably a higher chance. I just got lucky. So again, never mind what I fucking said. Throw all of that out the window. Um, I'm just saying, for me personally, okay, big disclaimer: this is not advice. Personally, I don't like following the trends because it just feels like I'm selling my soul. Because it's not actually what I genuinely want to do. You know, like I genuinely just want to do this. I like doing my thing and being really enthusiastic about creature design and stuff and world building. Um, and so if I did that to try and get big, I feel like I just slowly chip away at my sanity, you know? So if I had a choice between spending a really long time doing my own thing and getting popular that way, or just trying to follow trends to get popular but getting popular faster, I'd rather do the first one. You know, because that just feels like it feels like it would keep more of myself in the process. Because also it's hard to pivot, I think. This is again like personal opinion. I have no proof of this. Don't take big grain of salt. Um, but I feel like if you get your audience from like catering to trends with fan art and that sort of stuff, the audience you're getting is from the fandom of what you're drawing fan art of. That's a horrible way of putting that sentence, but you know what I mean, right? Like if you draw fucking uh some anime's fan art, then you're gonna attract the audience of that anime because they like that character and they look at your fan art and say cool, and then they follow you. But that's the issue. If you follow the trends and like follow what's popular, then you get like these bits and pieces people that follow you because of that thing that you drew that one time. And so the rest of the stuff, they might find it appealing, but it's not like they're really clearly there for one thing. They're all like bits and pieces from random communities cuz you drew the thing from their community. But like when you just do your own thing, the only reason why people would follow you is because of your thing. So they're all like clearly on the same track, you know? So I think that's a nice part of it. Like maybe you get a slower following, but like at least everybody's there for that thing that you also like, you know? Yeah. And also just passion really shows, I think, when it comes to like personal projects and stuff. Like I think it really bleeds through when you just really like what you're doing. I think it bleeds through. I hope it bleeds through with my stuff. Like I'm torturing myself. Like I hate making the videos and stuff, and I still looking for a way to like make videos easier for my own self and stuff. But like I hope it shows through that I like what I do, right? So I think that adds to it. Like if you're truly enthusiastic and just happy to do what you're doing, then I feel like it's gonna rub off on people. People are gonna be like, heck yeah, I mean he's liking it. And obviously, because the internet's gigantic, everybody's onto the internet. The niche you're in has a bunch of people. Like it's bound to happen. Like it's impossible you like something that nobody else fucking likes. You'll find your niche. You'll find like-minded people that like that exact same thing. It's impossible to not find it. It's the fucking internet. Yeah, yeah. I I really want to avoid giving advice or like getting too much of an ego. Like it can happen accidentally, even if I don't feel like it. With a big audience, sometimes you can just get carried away and be like, "Well, shit. I mean, so many people are following me. Seems like I know what I'm doing." No, fucking, I don't know. I don't know shit. And I sometimes I need to catch myself and be like, "Hold on, pause." Dude, you literally got like incredibly fucking lucky, and there's nothing that you did that was intelligently planned out for it to become this, you know? So I need to catch myself sometimes and remind myself that I don't know shit, and I'm definitely not qualified to like give advice to people and tell them how the thing functions or how to get big or successful. You know, there's people that dedicated their whole career in finding out how the magic mystery algorithms work. Go to those guys if you want like some sort of slight understanding of the cogs of the machine. Ego checks are good for the mind. Yeah, yeah. I just yeah. I don't like giving advice. I really need to remember like sometimes I need to preface that I don't want to give advice and I shouldn't give advice. Because I'm just winging it. Most people are winging it, but I'm especially just winging it. So I should not tell you how things are done. There's not a right or wrong way. It is literally just personal opinion. Have you ever considered making a large timeline of major events? No, not really. I think my brain just can't do that. I'm too stupid for that. But also, I'm not really interested in like timelines. Like, yeah, but also it's not that complicated. The timeline's not that complicated, honestly. It's just escalation, Manticore incident, war. And then whatever innovations happened after the war sort of sometimes follow a linear path. But I just sort of like, yeah, like innovations happened in the war. What exact order those innovations happened or like things got invented or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. Like if the acceleration rifle got invented before the fucking crawling bishop, like it doesn't really matter to me because both of them are cool concepts. So that's what matters to me is that they're just a cool concept. You can like theorize on your own if you'd like which concept came first. Uh there are 8,200 people just like you. Well, yeah, I'm not saying I hope it didn't I hope nobody's misunderstanding. I'm not saying I'm like special 1 in a million. I'm saying I got lucky 1 in a million. So there's so countless people that are better, same or better than me, that just didn't get that 1 in a million ticket of like, oh, suddenly one of your posts just got you like 10,000 followers on Twitter, and then you made a video and that audience like looked over or something, and the algorithm went, oh, and just gave you 1 million views. Like, just because I don't fucking know. Yeah, that's what I mean in 1 in a million. Not like I'm built different and that's why I got big. Fuck no. I'm built the same. I just got lucky. No video about the full lore of your world. I mean, how would you do that? How would you do that? Full video about the whole world? I've thought about it. I've tried writing it many times. Like a full lore breakdown to like give a timeline or like a rough idea of what it is, but it's really hard like to summarize something that big into a small package. Be authentic about it. Yeah, I think I'm happy that I chose this path. I couldn't be more happy that I'm just doing this, you know? I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I don't regret the path I chose at all. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Gonna say something. Gonna say something. I completely forgot though. Oh right. Summarizing the world is really hard. There's like little different bits and pieces, and they're really hard to like bridge. If you wanted to talk about it in one cohesive script, impossible. Because there's so many things happening simultaneously. There's the witch research at the Bleeding Belfries. There's the witch hunters going out to hunt witches. There's the conflict in the war. There's a trade with the hatch folk. There's the Burlamen up top. There's the expeditions into Burla. There is the digging down to the center of the earth. There's the climbing the pillars. There's what else is there? There's the Manicore and like trying to enter the Manicore and that shit. And so there's so many different strands of like smaller strings of events happening that it's like impossible to like jump from them or jump between them cohesively. You'd need to make separate videos about them. Unless you literally just want to skip over them really quickly and have everybody confused like I just did. Like I can refer to the events and if you've watched the videos enough, like you sort of get it. But if you think about it from like an outside point of view, if you just heard what I just said without any of the knowledge of the Monster Garden, none of that made sense. You know there's a war, what the fuck's a Manicore? What's the Bleeding Belfries? What do you mean digging down to the center of the earth? Like all of it needs some elaboration to make sense, but that would lead to so many tangents. You know, that would lead to so many tangents. So what I have for, like, this is what I have for the summary of the project at the moment. It's in the Codex. I wrote it at the top, and it's just Rust and Trenches is a world-building project made as an excuse for me to draw cool designs, giant war machines, magical monsters, reality-bending witches, and mutated soldiers. That's it. And that's just the gist of it. And you can elaborate on that, but that's like the elevator pitch of it. And then the next sentence is just, feel free to look around. Each entry has a bit of lore attached to it. Some might refer to other entries or paint a larger picture, but mostly I try to make them standalone neat ideas, so you can just look around and start reading wherever. And that's the whole point, is I'm really trying to write the Codex to be as approachable as possible, so that it's really digestible and you can literally start wherever you want. So whatever section of it interests you can stand on its own, and you don't need to care about anything else. You can just be like, I want to learn about the witch hunters, and then just read about the witch hunters and be like, yummy, thank you for the meal, and then leave. And that's it. You don't need to like if you read about the witch hunters, you would need no knowledge about the war. You'd need no knowledge about the religions or whatever, nothing, just the witch hunters. You know, that video of the witch hunter taking the POV of the pilgrim is awesome. Audio drama like that is something I hope you do more. I mean, I hope so too. It's soul sucking though. Like that video took way too long to make, and it was such a pain. I hated it. You know, because my attention span is very fleeting. I have a lot of flaws, and one of them is definitely that I have a very short attention span. Um, and so my attention span fits better with quick drawings and concept art and like throwing ideas out. But for anything that requires longer yeah, for anything that just takes longer, I struggle. You know, and obviously that's a learned skill, right? That's a learned skill. It's not like um I'm forever fated to not be able to make like more in-depth content like that. It's you need to learn that level of patience and dedication to like be able to commit to those bigger things. Issue is because my whole project is about like doing what I like, it means that there's nobody forcing me to do anything, which means it's really hard to force myself to do those long form projects. If I force myself enough, it would get me to be better at them. But you know, like how are you going to do that? Like who's telling me to do it? It's me, and I don't want to do it. It's a vicious cycle. So yeah, the main goal besides like doing the codex is also just finding a method of making videos that's just very friendly to my attention span. Because if I like making the videos, I'll make more videos. if I'm suffering through each video, I'm gonna burn out, right? But if I like making them, I'll just pump out as many as I can, obviously. So I'm still looking for it. Like it's been a year, and I still don't think like I've found an exact or like a formula to the type of video that fits with me and how I function, how my brain functions. I've tried it. Like the latest video is the closest I've gotten to it. With just like editing down a stream of me ranting. The issue is, most of the time I'm incoherent. I don't speak very nicely or well. Like that stream was just lucky because I've written that script 4 times over and then ranted about the script, which means that it was structured enough because I had the script in my head, right? And so it just sort of flowed nicer and was able to be edited together in a video. But the normal streams like this one, I can't get shit out of this. Like if I listen to this afterwards, I'm just gonna be like, this dude's talking gibberish. Like this doesn't make sense at all. So like I don't know still. I've tried like just recording myself while drawing off stream, like not even streaming, just recording and forgetting about it and just talking to myself while drawing. And that also kind of works, but I don't know. I still haven't found it. I really still haven't found the right way. We probably mentioned it, but have you seen the bugs from Nasuka? Yeah, I have. I have seen those, of course. It's one of my biggest inspiration and could be useful. I didn't know there was a manga. Manga. I didn't know there was a manga. I'll have to read it. I do actually read manga, by the way. I don't read books, but manga has pictures, and I like pictures. Uh, so that keeps my attention span. Would you like us to force you to do the long project form or the long form projects? No, thank you very much for the offer, but no, I would not like that. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I I I wish I'll eventually find. I mean, it'll inevitably happen. I just have to stick to it. I wish I'll inevitably eventually find a format of video that just perfectly fits with how my brain functions and my attention span works, with how I can get like distracted and uninterested in things quickly, and it just works with that. And then I can just pump out videos nonstop. I'd love to do that, but for now, still haven't found it. I'm still. I think the next video I'll do about this thing, and I'll see if I can edit the streams, like the last 2 streams, this one and the last one, into videos, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Sometimes it feels kind of right at the start. Like I'll start editing it, but then like halfway through, I'll be like, yeah, this is bullshit, or this is ass, and I'll just stop and scrap it. I did that already with the stream designing the infusers. I wanted to make a video about those too, but the stream where I designed those was not good enough. The audio just didn't make sense. What is it called? Good point. What is this thing called? What are we calling this thing? Name suggestions. It's like a weird clam mixed with a crab mixed with a lamprey. And it digs through concrete. It eats concrete and digs through it with a jackhammer or a magic jackhammer that blows up rock in small little pops. How long have you been working on this project? Like the whole idea and concept? For a few years now, I think. Like 2 years, 3 years, maybe 3 years, I'd say. It's not like I'm trying to finish it. I'm just like chugging along, slowly like adding things to it. And it's easy to do that because I just like it. You know, I've built a whole world building project, like what I said with the elevator pitch of the Mont or Rust and Trenches. It's literally just my likes, uh, veiled in a sorry excuse for world building. Like just enough rickety foundation to hold it together, but in the end it's just my own likes, you know? Like I like rock climbing, so there's people climbing pillars. I like body modification is cool to me, so there's the war dancers and pillarmen. I find like steampunk and industrial designs to look cool, so let me add those. I like walking tanks. Let me add those. I like curses and witches. Let me add those. So it's just that. It's just whatever I like, I just add into it and just find an excuse to do so. Boreworm, boreworm is cool. Diggle, no, Diggle, Digalo is never gonna. No, we are not calling it Digalo. Gimlet worm. What does that mean? What does gimlet mean? I like the ring of that. Drill lobster. That's like a Pokemon. Eggs. Sounds like a slur. Calciferous. Calciferous. Hmm. Diggler. Boreworm is nice. Gimlet. Gimlet worm. What does gimlet mean? Does gimlet have a meaning? Yeah, I'm really happy with this. By the way, this is really nice. Color wise, I'm not actually sure what gravel grades. A gimlet is a tool for drilling small holes. Gimlet worm's really cool then. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go with gimlet worm. Boreworm, gimlet worm. We can do both, but like gimlet worm's really good. That's such a nice word. Let me search up a gimlet. I want to know what a gimlet looks like. Gimlet. It's a drink. No, here you go. Tool, gimlet. Oh yeah, perfect, perfect name. Gimlet worm, awesome. Who suggested gimlet worm? I'm scrolling up at the moment. Deagle. Flob. Incredible, incredible naming abilities. Thank you for gimlet worm. Gimlorm. No, smashing two words together doesn't magically make it a good name. We can't just smash gimlet and worm together to get Gimlorm and hope that that makes it sound good. Yeah. Even though it's not really a worm, I'm still down to calling it a worm. There's many things that aren't actually things and still called those things, so yes. Yeah. There you go. I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna paint it or color it off stream. Honestly, do you want I'm gonna put it in the monster garden just for fun, because like last time it was really fun to do that. I'll just like crop this so it's just like a translucent background where the creature is. Sorry, Zesty Bomb. I did not mean to be so mean to your name. Uh but yeah, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna just like erase the background inside this to make it transparent, and I'll slap that into the monster garden chat in the Discord. So if you just want to paint it just for fun, and see like what color schemes you can come up with for it, um, because I'm not really sure. Like it could go either way. It could be like earthy tones, or it could be like quite colorful. Not really sure. Uh, but yeah, I'll just slap that in there in case you want to draw on it for fun. But yeah, besides that, I think that's the stream done. We had a quick one. The last one was quick, and this one was quick too. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining me. I think we came out with a really happy idea, or with a really good idea, and this might upset some people. I like this one more than the Sluppies. It's got to be said, but I think I like this one more than the Sluppies. It's more confident. It knows what it is, right? It's even though it's like a weird mishmash of things, it looks more confident compared to the Sluppies. So I like it more. Sorry to the Sluppy enjoyers. I need to join this Discord. Oh, does the link in the description work? Do I actually have it in the description? No, I don't. Oh, whoops. Hold on. I'll just send a link to the server in the chat so you can join it. Um, how do I do that? Invite people. Edit link. Expires 7 days, no limit. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I need. Yeah, there you go. There's how could you, Simon? I'm sorry, it had to be said. I had to give my opinion on the internet. The Sluppies are friend shaped, you fiend. Well, friend shaped doesn't really look nice to me then. Can we get a light bulb that hangs from the ceiling next? What? Oh, a bug. A light bug. I was like, a light bulb that hangs from the ceiling. That doesn't require much designing, does it? Like, that's pretty much done already. But yeah, I sent the Discord link in the chat in case you missed it. Yeah. Welcome to the Discord, I suppose. But yeah, there's a chat in the Discord called Monster Garden. I'm gonna pop the drawing in there. You can play around with it. Up to you. Yeah. There you go. That's it then. That's it. That's the end of the stream. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna